It's a rainy night in Connecticut, and this 40-year-old guy thinks he is going to cuddle in bed with a 13-year-old girl.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
He appears to be so desperate, he would risk a long prison sentence for a night with a 13-year-old.
Now, those are the kinds of people my next guest and the founder of Operation Underground Railroad seeks to get off the streets and put in jail. Nearly every American probably thinks sting operations that lock up these child sex predators before they strike are good things. But the New York Times Magazine thinks otherwise, apparently. They put out this piece last week with the headline, "Convicted of Sex Crimes, but with no victims. An online sting operation to catch child predators snared hundreds of men. But what were they really guilty of?" That's right. The New York Times Magazine ran an article questioning the prosecution of grown men caught attempting to rape children. The article specifically focuses on a sting operation in Washington state. It's called Net Nanny. Hundreds of men were arrested and charged with sex crimes. However, the article also targets Operation Underground Railroad and its role in bringing all these child predators to justice. Joining me now is the group's founder and president, Tim Ballard. Tim, why is the New York Times Magazine publishing an article defending men seeking to rape children? I mean, it's very clear in these prosecutions and convictions in most cases.
Well, they seem to be making a big deal about the fact that there's no victims. But I say, thank the Lord that there's no victims. Let me give you a perspective on this. About 15 years ago, I was a special agent working for the U.S. government. And there was this case where this mother, imagine this, walks into a room and sees her 12-year-old daughter talking online with a predator who's 36 years old, a pedophile, getting her to take her clothes off, trying to meet her for sex. Now, she has the presence of mind to call the police. I get assigned the case. I assume the identity of this little girl with the parents' permission, and I begin to continue the dialogue, right? And turns out this guy comes to pick up who he thinks a 12-year-old. It's really me, right? And he comes with condoms and with other things showing that he's there to have sex with this girl. And luckily, her mom came in. There was an intervention. But now you got to start thinking, how do we make sure this doesn't happen? Moms aren't going to always walk in on their kids and catch them and save them. And so we have to be forward-thinking, creative. And so we began at that point to start putting lines out, catching the predators and the pedophiles before they get to our kids. And basically, and that's what we do at our foundation. We fund, we train, we equip law enforcement. These cops, these men and women in blue are basically taking the bullet for the kids, right? Sitting in place of the kids, and they're rescuing so many children, countless children, not to mention the fact.
They're protecting the innocence of children from these monsters. Here's a passage from the New York Times Magazine article. I have to read this to you. Peter Aiken, a Florida defense lawyer, has represented 45 men arrested in stings. Aiken says about his clients, once they're on the sex registry, landlords won't rent to them. They can't get jobs. Their lives are ruined. Tim, your response to that idea? They object to the methods here. They say sounds like Nancy Pelosi, this is a setup for these men. Your response?
I say it's a rescue for children. And if you choose to seek 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls to have sex with them, the consequences are there's going to be a check on you. Society's going to check you now. And thank goodness, society will check you and keep you from certain places, keep you from schools. We need to make our children the most important thing in the world. And the New York Times, in this article, certainly did not do that. They made the world a less safe place for children by sympathizing with predators who would rape any of our children. I mean, really, this is insane to me.
You have a 95% conviction rate with this program, which is an amazing statistic. Now, they find that objectionable. If your methods weren't pure, clearly these cases would be thrown out of court, right?
Absolutely. These laws are in place. They're legitimate laws, and they should be utilized by law enforcement, and they are utilized by law enforcement. I mean, these legislatures put together these laws to protect kids, and what Washington State Patrol and the other law enforcement partners are doing is using those laws to protect children.
Tim, the New York Times Magazine also took a shot at you. It brought up your religiosity because you were quoted as saying ours, which is your organization's strong religious and political bent, make it an odd partner, the New York Times says, for a public agency like the Washington State Patrol. The founder, Tim Ballard, once told a reporter that he started o.u.r. after God told him, find the lost children. If someone isn't comfortable praying, he said, they're not comfortable they're not going to be comfortable working with us. They're trying to depict you as a religious fanatic here. Very quickly, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I believe in God. I believe in prayer. Our founding fathers believed in the same thing, and they utilized that power to liberate the captive.
Tim,
and we're doing the same thing.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm up against a hard break.